Investigators have released some more information about a shooting that left a Madison County deputy injured and a suspect dead. And we're learning more about the suspect's past.
Days after a shooting left a man badly injured outside a Lexington bar, Lexington police now say they've identified a suspect in the case.
And it shines a bad light on the whole industry.
The impact of a drug epidemic has been seen on Kentucky interstates. What's being done to keep truckers from driving high behind the wheel?
WKYT News starts now with First Alert Weather.
More storms are slowly moving through parts of Kentucky tonight, and a few of them are turning severe.
And we've heard some thunder here on Winchester Road. They're also packed with some heavy rain tonight. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey shows us what he's tracking right now.
Yeah, guys, a lot of thunderstorms out there, and indeed, we now have 3 active severe thunderstorm warnings across the area. That 4th warning for parts of Anderson County just expiring at the top of the hour. Let's get into it. Defender Radar Network. Cluster of thunderstorms, southern Kentucky, then across parts of the Bluegrass region. Check out the storms that are producing the potential for a little wind damage. Severe thunderstorm warning out for sections of Franklin and Scott counties. That'll go mostly now into Scott County for another 15 minutes or so around Stamping Ground. Then another severe thunderstorm cruising out of Bourbon County into Nicholas and Harrison counties. Stamping Ground, we're getting the worst of the weather. That storm isn't as strong as what we were looking at a little bit ago. And this storm north of Paris has weakened just a little bit as well. That is slowly working toward the northern part of Nicholas County into southern Harrison County. Downtown Lexington, a little thunder and lightning. And Nicholasville, we're getting reports out of Jessamine County of better than 2 inches of rain so far this afternoon in a little under 2 hours time span. We've had repeat thunderstorms. You can see a little action Berea to Lancaster. Strongest storm by far showing up right now is north of Williamsburg. That's a severe thunderstorm warning for McCreary and Whitley counties. And if you're watching into southern Laurel County, into Knox County, this is heading your way. Corbin may have some hail coming in over the next 15-20 minutes or so. Worst of this storm looks like it's going to bypass downtown Williamsburg and head into northern sections of Whitley County, and the tremendous lightning that we are seeing with that. As we get deeper into the evening, your future hour-by-hour radar is showing how the storms will indeed begin to weaken. So, guys, 3 active severe thunderstorm warnings right now. We'll continue to watch Defender and let you know if we get a 4th.
Thank you, Chris. He had a long criminal history along with an active probation violation. And tonight we're learning more about a man police say shot a Madison County Sheriff's deputy.
Police say Deputy Kevin Crutcher returned fire, killing the suspect, Daniel Pigg. Deputy Crutcher was treated and released from the hospital. Investigators also talked to us today about the shooting. Monique Blair has our top story at 6.
It was a moment Deputy Kevin Crutcher's colleagues will likely never soon forget. The moment they realized their deputy was down.
The main thing was to keep him talking, to keep our reassurance that kind of get an idea of how badly he may be injured.
Police say Daniel Pigg shot Deputy Crutcher with a pistol in the left side of his abdomen. And because Deputy Crutcher is a detective, he was not wearing a bulletproof vest. But he is home from the hospital, now recovering. He's doing well. Spoke with him this morning. He's sore naturally, and go through different emotions when I spoke with him. So now we're learning more about Pigg and his criminal past, including multiple felony convictions. Daniel Pigg had a warrant out for his arrest for violating probation. Commonwealth's attorney Ray Larson tells me this is something that happens far too often.
Under our wimpy sentencing laws that we have in Kentucky, judges are encouraged to probate people. That means put them right back on the streets.
But right now the sheriff's office tells me they are focusing on recovery and the fact that their deputy is still with them today.
Just like we've all said, he's lucky today.
In Madison County, Monique Blair, WKYT.
Police tell us Deputy Crutcher was investigating the area of Arthur Jackson Road for reported illegal drug activity when he saw Daniel Pigg. Deputy Crutcher is currently on administrative leave from the sheriff's office.
Tonight, search crews believe that they have found the body of a man who went missing in a southern Kentucky river. The Laurel County emergency manager says crews found a man's body this afternoon in the Rockcastle River. It was found in the same area where a 70-year-old man disappeared Monday night. Investigators say he and his son were in a canoe that turned over. Both men made it to shore, but investigators say the man then went back to get something out of the canoe and went under the water. His name has not been released.
Tonight, police have identified a man wanted in connection to a shooting outside a Lexington bar. Lexington police say they've obtained an arrest warrant for 30-year-old Leslie Parson. He's facing charges of assault and possession of a handgun by a convicted felon. Early Sunday morning, police say a man was shot in the head in the parking lot of Saddle Ridge on South Broadway. The victim's friends say he was trying to break up a fight when he was shot. Police say he was taken to UK hospital in critical condition.
Tonight, Lexington police need your help finding a man who they say robbed a bank. It happened just before 2 this afternoon at the Central Bank and Trust on Versailles Road. Police say an armed man walked into the bank and demanded money. They say once tellers gave him some money, he ran off towards Devonport Drive. Police say they're questioning some people who may have been involved, but they have not made any arrests yet.
Concerns have been raised about some thoroughbred horses who are now on a Mercer County farm. And tonight, the Mercer County Sheriff tells us his office is now looking into whether the animals were neglected at one point. Garrett Weimer has the story new at 6.
Mercer County Sheriff Ernie Kelty says they believe the thoroughbred horses at this farm on Martin Lane have been out here for 2 to 3 weeks. What they're trying to figure out is where they were before that and why someone there wasn't taking care of them. Sheriff Kelty says there's 40 horses on this property. Now his office is investigating after he says some horses show signs of neglect. Sheriff Kelty says the man leasing the farm is cooperating with the investigation. We're choosing not to name that man because he hasn't been charged. Investigators say the horses have been taken care of since they were brought to this farm, but they're trying to track down who was responsible for taking care of them before that. Sheriff Kelty says the important thing is the horses are now being taken care of, and he says investigators will get to the bottom of all this.
You know, and this definitely is serious to us, and we've let everybody that's involved know that this is very serious to us, and that we're doing everything that we can to gather all the facts and make sure those horses are taken care of.
State officials are also now involved with the case. We'll have more on that tonight on WKYT News at 11. In Mercer County, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
So far, investigators say no charges have been filed in this case.
The number of truckers getting pulled over and arrested for driving under the influence of drugs is on the rise. But industry leaders say it's not just truckers, it's every kind of job as Kentucky deals with a growing drug epidemic. WKYT's Miranda Combs went with one driver who has seen it all.
I have several concerns, but the biggest concern is to go home safe every night. I'm checking the tires, checking to make sure everything is in place, there's nothing broke, no wires hanging down, anything like that. Come in here and check the air pressure.
Things were different back when he started in the late 70s.
Should be 120.
Called it the Wild West back then.
Because there would be an alarm going off now if it had dropped to the red.
It was everybody for themselves.
I've got to look ahead to see what's going on. I can't drive here.
Safety was not a priority.
It was about getting the load there, getting paid for it, and getting another one. It's come a long way, and it's a lot better than it used to be.
He's been all over the country, seen every state, had fun.
You get a little older, you want to go home at night. Yeah.
As the years pass, Dennis Sell has settled into a local route close to home. He says time has changed his industry. More regulations have made his job safer. But a statewide drug problem has hit these interstates hard.
And it shines a bad light on the whole industry.
And they said that you were on methamphetamines?
Not for the last 2 days. That's when I done it last, and I quit that.
He was a truck driver too, till May, when police in Laurel County say they caught him high on drugs driving a tractor trailer, hauling precious cargo, his 2 kids.
Do you wish you would have done things differently?
I do, yes.
It enrages me because I know this guy is out here driving 80,000 pounds, and he's taking his, not only is he taking his life in his hands, he's taking my family's life and the general public.
The Kentucky Trucking Association says there are more than 14,000 trucking companies in the state. They range from 2 truck fleets to hundreds, like HTSI in Louisville.
Certain drugs are becoming more acceptable in society. It has put a greater burden on transportation, especially trucking, to keep that from being a big hindrance in how we hire drivers.
A check with KSP shows an increase in the amount of drug citations given to commercial truck drivers.
Any industry you want to talk to today is having a hard time with employees and drug tests.
HTSI President William Hill says he only has about 1 driver a year fail a drug test. He says a new tool soon available by the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration will help all trucking companies have better communication.
Now we'll have the ability when someone fails or refuses a drug or alcohol test, we can put that back into that database, and any carrier in the nation, when that driver applies, they can check that database and see whether that person has failed or refused a drug test. When it comes to enforcement, they can say, listen, there's no excuses anymore. You have a free database to go look at. You should have never hired this driver to begin with.
Hill says there's too much writing on knowing a driver's history.
If we put someone behind the wheel of one of these trucks and they were to have an accident and it was to come up that this person had a DUI or a drug issue 3, 4, 5 years ago, we're undefendable.
It does bother me. It bothers me a lot because it shines a bad light on the whole industry. You get one bad apple and it spoils the whole bunch.
Because one impaired driver can change the lives of so many more. And from the numbers we pulled, it appears the amount of citations handed out by Kentucky State Police involving drugs was more than alcohol-involved citations in 2015 and in 2014. In fact, in 2014, it was double. Hill says the clearinghouse database is in its final stages before being implemented. Guys?
I had no idea that there were that number of trucking companies in Kentucky.
And 110,000 jobs that makes up. So that helps you understand, though, how a lot of people might slip through the cracks and you end up with problems like these DUI and drug arrests.
All right, Miranda, thank you so much. A 19-year-old Lexington mother of twins is back on her feet today thanks to the help of a local organization and Facebook. On Tuesday night, a burglar broke into the woman's home to steal a specific set of items. When caseworkers at Arbor Youth Services heard about the case, they weren't surprised.
A lot of times when people steal from other people, they steal what they need, and apparently this was someone who had a child and needed, diapers and formula and baby boy clothes and a laptop.
Certainly a bizarre case. Through their own supplies and a huge response on Facebook, the young mother is now back on her feet and has what she needs. For more information about Arbor Youth Services, go to WKYT.com and click on this story.
Lexington's annual 4th of July fireworks display now has a new home where you'll be able to watch it all coming up.
For you, it starts with a chime on your phone, a post in your timeline. But for us, it starts even earlier.
We're tracking breaking news.
Well, that shooting happened just
Getting breaking news to you is what we do. WKYT stands for Kentucky.
Crispy, crunchy, cheesy. Papa John's new pan pizza. Loaded with cheese that bakes into a delicious crust. Get our new pan pizza with up to 3 toppings for just $10
at papajohns.com.
Toyota started with an idea, and Prius changed the world. That led to the family-size Highlander and a hybrid version of Camry, America's best-selling car. 2 more Prius models, a luxurious Avalon, and now the first-ever RAV4 hybrid sport utility and the midsize 4th-generation Prius, the most dynamic, most responsive Prius ever. Toyota hybrids, now with 7 to choose from, starting at just $23.95. Toyota, let's go places.
During the final week of Sleep Outfitters Memorial Day sale, we give you 3 great reasons to take home a Tempur-Pedic. 1. Find Tempur-Pedic queen sets on a Tempur-Up adjustable base for just $34 a month. 2. Receive a Visa prepaid gift card worth up to $400 with your select Tempur adjustable purchase. 3. Get up to 6 years no-interest financing on many Tempur-Pedic sets. It's 3 great reasons to buy Tempur-Pedic during the final days of our Memorial Day sale at Sleep Outfitters.
Who says mornings can't be happy? Not us. Introducing the DQ Hardest Working Happy Hour with drinks that work even harder than you do, blending sweet flavors like never before. Only DQ has drinks that multitask in the morning even if you can't. Like $2 premium fruit smoothies, $2 ultimate frappes, and $1 iced coffees. every weekday morning until 10:30 a.m. at your DQ. This is fan food, not fast food.
Days like this are getting harder to find. We're long on life, but short on time. When I get a chance to kick back and unwind, I live for Myrtle Beach days. Myrtle Beach days got blue in the sky, not a care in the air, ocean breeze blowing by, just sitting on the sand, soaking up the sunshine. I live for Myrtle Beach days.
It's here, the 24th annual RV sale at Kentucky Horse Park Campgrounds. Over 100 new and used diesel pushers, motorhomes, van campers, travel trailers, fifth wheels, and toy haulers. They're all here and priced to sell. Travel trailers from $99.99. New motorhomes from $69,999. Everything from diesel pushers to van campers, fifth wheels to sport utility trailers to haul your toys. This once-a-year event has something for everybody. Special financing rates, factory rebates, factory representatives. Great deals from May 20th to June 5th. Kentucky Horse Park Campground, exit 120 off I-75. Follow the signs. Sponsored by Northside RVs.
Crispy, crunchy, cheesy. Papa John's new pan pizza. Loaded with cheese that bakes into a delicious crust. Get our new pan pizza with up to 3 toppings for just $10
at papajohns.com.
New tonight, Lexington city leaders say they found a new location for the city's 4th of July fireworks display. They say the fireworks will be launched from a site along Alumni Drive near the Arboretum, and the parking lots at Commonwealth Stadium will be open as a place to gather and watch the fireworks. The city also plans a 3-minute fireworks test fire next Monday night on Alumni Drive. For years, the fireworks had been launched from R.J. Corman property near Rupp Arena, but the company wouldn't allow the city to use the property this year.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Thunderstorms continue to flare up across the area, and those are putting down some very high winds, 55-mile-per-hour wind gusts a little earlier in Lexington. Let's get into it and show you what we are tracking. Storms continue to pack a punch, though not as strong as what we were looking at even 15-20 minutes or so ago. A lot of the warnings are beginning to expire right now. We get into the Whitley County area. This warning just expired a few seconds ago, 6:15. Strongest part of this storm is just to the north of the Williamsburg area. Look at the concentration of lightning here around the Walden area, right on top of Interstate 75. Corbin, that is working your way over the next few minutes, and that storm continues to grow up just a little bit. Let's shift our focus into the Bluegrass area, shall we? Lexington Metro, scattering of storms across the region, and those storms, notice they're coming down a little bit on your 3D Defender, so they're not as tall, not as strong, still very heavy rains and a lot of lightning, and you can still get a local wind burst of 40 miles per hour with storms like this. Heaviest rain across Scott County right now, shifting to the east of Stamping Ground from Sadieville down toward Toyota Plant, Scott County High School, Georgetown, Marshall Park. Eastern side of this system has weakened tremendously. That severe thunderstorm warning that was out for Bourbon County has since expired because that storm has weakened. Lexington, a little break across the downtown area, but heavy rain out near the airport, getting ready to cruise back into town. I'll tell you, southeast of Nicholasville, watch the creeks and the streams here. This thunderstorm has just been kind of raining and raining and raining for the past half hour to 45 minutes, and it's following the path of an earlier thunderstorm around the Union Mills area over towards Spears and Pollard, so that'll work its way into southern parts of Fayette County. Thunder and lightning now across the Lancaster area over toward Berea, Richmond, especially around Lake Reba, over toward good folks into Waco, getting in on a gusty shower right now. Humid conditions into most of the Ohio Valley. That's ahead of a cold front that has a nice little spin with it. Area of low pressure into the Lone Star State of Texas. That is our weekend weather maker, at least in parts, our weekend rain and thunderstorm maker. A storm or two around tomorrow, though you're going to have some dry hours. It's not like it's going to rain every hour Saturday into Sunday. It's just we have a little better shot for some heavy rain producing showers and storms both Saturday and into the day on Sunday. Here we go with the hour-by-hour forecast. This evening, showers and storms will finally wind down a little bit, but at any point tonight and tomorrow, with that front nearby, we could fire up a scattered thunderstorm. You get out of any thunderstorms, you see the sun tomorrow, you hit the low 80s. You see a thunderstorm that kind of hangs the clouds around for the better part of the day, you'll hold into the upper 70s. Tomorrow night and into the day on Saturday, it is still muggy with that southwesterly wind creating more in the way of thunderstorms as temperatures will come down into the 70s. And once we get through the weekend, we get this last batch of some rain out of town Sunday and maybe a leftover shower on Monday. Look at those thermometers into the 70s. June, you're not so tough after all, at least to start things out with those cooler than normal temperatures into the first part of next week. Out there this evening, though, guys, still a lot of thunder and lightning. The overall trend of those storms is to weaken a little bit.
I love thunderstorms at night.
Yeah?
There's nothing better than sleeping during a thunderstorm.
Folks, last night we're getting a heck of a light show and may do it again tonight, too.
Yeah. Good deal. Thank you.
You bet.
Coaches want the SEC championship game moved.
Well, it has been played on Sunday for years and years, as you know, but that pushes it close to the NCAA. The latest from the SEC meetings. And Scott County captures not one, but 2 titles last night. Stay with us. Sports is next.
Get WKYT news and weather updates on 100.1 WKQQ.
At Bryant Heating and Cooling, providing home comfort is our only priority.
That's why we're always here for you, and we never charge overtime. No hidden fees.
Because we know if you're calling on the weekend, something's wrong.
Call us anytime. We're here when you need us most.
Guys, I know, wait! Yeah, wait! We can finally stop playing these wedding gigs and start rocking out! Hey guys, what's going on? I hope you got that ticket in the same place, bro! Oh, it was Ronnie's turn to get the ticket. Oh, no, Ronnie. We, let Ronnie go last week.
The only way you can win Kentucky's Powerball or Mega Millions jackpot is if you actually buy your ticket.
Ronnie!
How do you craft the world's finest bed? It starts with luxurious materials, with attention to every detail. For quality you can feel, the same quality you've come to expect at Sleep Outfitters, where now you can save up to $600 on select Stearns & Foster mattresses. Plus, get 0% APR financing for 60 months. When you lie down on a Stearns & Foster bed, you'll appreciate everything we've put in, making it that much harder to get out. Stearns & Foster, available at Sleep Outfitters.
Want to drive the #1 selling SUV? Honda's got it with a 2016 CR-V. CR-Vs are KBB's best buy of the year, and they're all fully loaded for $219 a month. Looking for hot technology? Honda's got it with available Honda Lane Watch, forward collision warning, power tailgate, and more. Want CR-Vs for just $219 a month or drive with 0 down payment? Honda's got it this week at your Central Kentucky Honda dealers.
Passion, personalized care, and a mission to serve women and families in Kentucky. We are Frontier Nursing University. Through distance education and clinicals in your own community, become a nurse midwife and share your passion for women and family care. Visit frontier.edu.
Buying a new energy-efficient refrigerator or freezer? Well, get paid to upgrade. Let our Energy Star Appliance Rebate Program help you earn cash back on a range of Energy Star certified appliances. Just visit our website to see how to get paid to upgrade. South Kentucky RECC and Jackson Energy, your Touchstone Energy cooperatives.
WKYT is putting the new back in late news with newer stories and more updates. So there's less repetition, which means no wasted time. WKYT News at 11. Newer, fresher, worth staying up for.
At Bryant Heating and Cooling, providing home comfort is our only priority.
That's why we're always here for you, and we never charge overtime. No hidden fees.
Because we know if you're calling on the weekend, something's wrong.
Call us anytime. We're here when you need us most.
Moving the SEC Tournament Championship from Sunday to Saturday. According to ESPN's Jeff Goodman, that is something that the league's coaches discussed at the SEC meetings in Florida, and they'll make a proposal now to the athletic directors. No one seems to have taken John Calipari's proposal to move the conference tournament to November seriously. But Cal made some headlines making that proposal, stirring things up. He also talked about next season on the Paul Feinbaum Show.
The team we have coming in, the team we have coming back, the young kids are good. But I could probably start 3 or 4 freshmen again. Like I said, I'm excited about where we're going, where the NCAA is trying to take this now. Hopefully, maybe next year get a little better seed, maybe. Said nice things to the NCAA, so maybe a better seed next year.
Former Wildcat Dwayne Casey fined $25,000 during his team's playoff series against the Cavs for criticizing the officials. He will have no problem paying that after getting a hefty pay raise. Casey gets a 3-year extension worth $18 million, according to Yahoo Sports. The Raptors had their best season in franchise history under Casey, who led them to the Eastern Conference Finals before losing to Cleveland. In 5 seasons under Casey, the Raptors have improved their win total each year. Well, it was a clean sweep for the Scott County Cardinals, winning the softball and baseball region titles. Brian Milam has a look at 2 programs heading to state.
For the first time since the 2004 season, the 11th region will be represented at the baseball and softball state tournaments by 1 school. Scott County continued its dominance in softball. Baseball had not won a region crown since 1999, when Scott County was in the 8th region.
Yeah, it was actually just more than that. But I think I like our chances. We hit a lot, we practice a lot, we practice hard. So if we keep hitting how we can, then I like our chances.
It's the toughest region in Kentucky. Hands down, it's the toughest region in Kentucky. So, you know, to win it is a real feather in the cap for our program.
For the Diamond Queens of softball, this is not a surprise. Scott County has now captured 9 region championships since 2005. It's all about showing up when the spotlight is its brightest.
It's the chemistry. We love all of each other, and we know that no matter what happens throughout the games, it's at the end of the day, we all know we're going to show up when we need to.
The baseball Birds have a team loaded with underclassmen, while the softball Cardinals have the experience of deep runs in the postseason.
I think it's huge. It's an advantage for sure. They've got a lot of experience bringing it into the state tournament. That's a big advantage going in.
With the softball and baseball region champs, I'm Brian Milam, WKYT.
Thank you, Brian. And Nyquist on the Pimlico track this morning for the first time since running in the Preakness, so he is doing better. And guys, that is good news. He will be flown back to California Sunday.
Rob, thank you. A final check of your First Alert forecast is next.
Then on the CBS Evening News, Hillary Clinton takes the presidential race fight straight to Donald Trump, while Trump receives a key endorsement.
WKYT's First Alert Weather follows you wherever you go, on TV, online, on your phone, and throughout the day at 98.1 The Bull.
Get the credit approval you deserve at the all-new Big M Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Nicholasville. If you have a job and $199, you can be approved today. During the Drive and Discover event 2016, Jeep Cherokee's $199 a month. Visit BigMSuperstore.com.
Flowers are important because they cheer people up, they make people feel better, they say sorry in a really easy way. And that's important to me because if someone's celebrating the birth of a baby or a graduation or some huge success, I get to be a part of that celebration. But every customer wants to be treated like you know them or like you are their friend. I promise, if you come in and get a bouquet from me, it will be fresh, colorful, made with care, and made with you in mind. Hi, I'm Amber and I'm from the Portland Kroger.
When you're building your dream house, you want to make sure you're doing it right. It's a big job. But the Touchstone Energy Home Program can show you how to make your new place energy efficient, economical, and comfortable. We'll help you put together the home of your dreams while you save up to 30% in energy costs. You can even qualify for a rebate from your local energy cooperatives. It's easier than you think. So talk to us today about your dream home of tomorrow. Fleming, Mason, and Clark Energy, your Touchstone Energy cooperatives.
Passing on is just another milestone. We celebrate other milestones, birthdays, getting married, having kids, retiring. When my time comes, I want a celebration. I think it'll help my family and friends feel better and move on. I want them to have happy thoughts about me and know that I'm in a better place.
Contact Clark Legacy Center to plan your end-of-life celebration.
Toyota started with an idea, and Prius changed the world. That led to the family-size Highlander and a hybrid version of Camry, America's best-selling car, 2 more Prius models, a luxurious Avalon, and now the first-ever RAV4 hybrid sport utility and the midsize 4th-generation Prius, the most dynamic, most responsive Prius ever. Toyota hybrids, now with 7 to choose from, starting at just $23.95. Toyota, let's go places.
At Stanley Steamer, we go beyond carpet cleaning.
We're also experts at cleaning tile and ground. Our high-pressure equipment extracts dirt powerfully, yet safely, with far better results than mopping. We can even seal or recolor your ground for a fresh look. Call now about our tile cleaning special.
Call 1-800-STEAMER. Stanley Steamer gets your home cleaner.
Save thousands at the all-new Big M Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Nicholasville, where you get 25% off MSRP on all the remaining new 2015s in stock. That's up to $14,000 off MSRP. Make the short drive to Big M Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram today.
Really good night to be aware of your surroundings and the weather.
We're going to keep an eye on it. Defender Radar Network thunderstorms southern Kentucky and across the Bluegrass region, especially heavy rains. We've got reports of street flooding into downtown Nicholasville, where we've had, in some cases, 1 to 3 inches of rain over the past couple of hours. Still raining south of Nicholasville. Heavy rain west side of Lexington, watching Scott, Bourbon, and Nicholas counties, up into Harrison County as well for some possible flooding. We're watching that storm on top of Corbin, guys.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you all for watching. We'll see you back here for WKYT.